Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go. Thursday show, February 6, 2025, NBA Trade Deadline Day. If you're watching on YouTube, part of the over 79,000 subscribers on this platform, good afternoon to you. If you're watching on X, hello. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, Ryan and Ermanni? What's up, fellas? Hope everybody's doing good. Not a lot. You know, it's not as icy as I thought it was going to be. That's a plus, but it still is ugly and gray outside. It's Thursday, and I'm just fluid, you know.
Tom as away. You're fluid as well.
And
good afternoon to you.
Day.
Let me not say fluid. Yeah, that gets misconstrued in 2025.
Pause.
I'm going with the flow of the day. Let me say that.
We got less than an hour to go for the Pistons
Yeah, that's
to
crazy.
make a move.
Crazy
They
work.
brought in 3 players. There's only room for one. I'm willing to see what they got going, but last night they had me locked and loaded, man. It's fun to watch those guys.
Pete Spivak, Ricky Burns in the house as well. Let's
Good
talk
afternoon.
about that. Let's start there, guys. Pistons last night in the NBA trade deadline. We'll get to some trade stuff, but let's start with what happened on the court first. Last night, Pistons lose a heartbreaker, 118-115, before really a pretty nice crowd at, I almost said Joe Louis Arena, at Little Caesars Arena last night.
Hit
So
it
I
on twice.
have to be totally honest with you. I'm watching this game last night, and I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was Beasley or somebody. Pistons were down 5, and maybe they were down 7. Maybe they were down 7. They were down, whatever they were down.
Okay.
It was 107-102. It was down. They were down 5. 107-102. Pistons have a 3, clank, offensive rebound, another 3, clank, comes back the other way. Darius Garland hits a 3, kind of a wild 3.
Yeah, he had
to make
17 in
to
the
make
quarter.
it 110-102. I was like, I turned it off. I was like, I just can't. And then this morning I wake up and I'm like, what? What in the world happened? Cade Cunningham with 6 free throws down the stretch, tied it up, and then ultimately, from the logo, Darius Garland comes in. He
was
an
red hot.
uncontested 3-point look. I mean, it was a good running look, but he hit it, and the Pistons lose.
Yeah, you know, you can't give them open looks like that. Like, this is the new NBA. Like, guys can hit from the logo. The logo is a natural saying now, from the logo. Back in the day, you say from the logo, that's once every season. Now it's just a natural order of business. Trae Young did the same thing a couple nights ago. But with that said, the Pistons are in these games. You're talking about the number 1 team in the East last night. You're talking about a team that beat OKC twice. Beat them in OKC. They beat them here, and you see what they've been consistent all season. What it tells me is these teams are starting to take the Pistons serious. They took the Pistons serious the whole game. They played their A1 game. This is a place you would typically come, sit your players until the end of the game, and then you turn up in the last 9 minutes because that's how you can beat the Pistons. Now teams are playing whole games against these guys. Guys are really having to play. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. So you have to play to beat the Pistons. So it sucks that they lost yet again on a logo shot at the end of the game. But I'm not really too mad that it's happening. The fact that it's happening that way to these teams, Trae Young, great player, and then in this one, the number 1 team in the East, it's letting you know that the Pistons are for real, and teams are taking them for real as well.
You were glued last night, Maz.
I was, man. I went Sunday to the game to see the Bulls, and they pretty much, since the first quarter, they were down 8, and then they took over the game after that. And then they lose on a heartbreaker to Atlanta. Trae Young, 1.6 left. A wild 3 to beat them. They had a shot, but they didn't do it. And then last night, man, they were just climbing up a hill the entire game against a first-place team that got their ass beat by the Celtics the night before. So if they were going to beat Cleveland, last night was the time. And I told you guys, I really believe they could win that game because just the way everything was
and
happening.
Donovan Mitchell was out, too.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, it does.
It helps. But you know what? These guys play their asses off. Tobias Harris got hurt early, so you lost him. But Cade Cunningham, they are like desperate for him to not get the ball, the other team that they're playing. This guy fights for every opportunity to get the ball. And he's a superstar. I'm putting him up into that realm. He is a superstar. And just think, if they had Jaden Ivey this whole time, this might have been a different story. but do not count this team out against anybody.
I'm glad Matt said that. Like, Cade Cunningham is a superstar, and that was the last thing I was going to add. We've seen this last season. We've seen this. We saw this where Cade Cunningham would do his thing. He balled in the first half. He balled in the third quarter. But because he was learning how to play on offense and defense and lead and pick and choose his spots, Cade was tired and exhausted at the end of fourth quarters. Cade couldn't get this type of play in the end of fourth quarters at the beginning of this season and last year. Literally get to the fourth quarter, you see him run out of gas. You see him start to have those mental lapses because he wasn't in shape. Well, now he knows how to play in fourth quarter. Now he knows how to finish. Seeing him score 21 in the fourth quarter, it lets me know that this guy is complete now. This isn't anyone that we have to say he's right there or no. Cade Cunningham is coming to his own, as Maz alluded to. He's legit. Like, watching him finish in the fourth quarter like that, pause, it's letting me know he's ready to take that next step where he has taken that next step.
Played the last 3 minutes on a bad ankle. Came down on someone's shoe, and you saw his leg reverberate. I'm like, please don't let it be his knee, please. And he shook it off, and he's like, I'm good. Just leave me in. They called the timeout, walked him off.
A little secret sauce.
I'll tell you, man, I'm so impressed with this team, and they're not even a complete team yet. They are definitely on the ups. J.B. Bickerstaff has got them playing really well. Jaden Duran last night was playing in foul trouble the whole game. He couldn't really play his game. He's coming into his own as well. I don't know. Tim Hardaway, 6 threes. Malik Beasley, he didn't have a great night, but he can hit any time. One of the best three-point shooters in the game. They got me interested in the game again. I'm very happy to be back interested in the game again.
Maz, let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask everybody in the studio. Before the season, we had this fun topic, and was who are the top players under 5 years in the city of Detroit? And Cade Cunningham is one of them. Jameer Gibbs is one. All the guys off the Detroit Lions were the ones we typically chose. And then you go to the Red Wings. You got not Dylan Larkin, but Moritz Sider, Lucas Raymond. If you could do it over now that you see what Cade Cunningham has become, now the Lions have had a season.
Yeah.
If you go your top 5,
he's in there.
Is he number 1? Is he 2? Is he 3?
I'd put him in the top 3. He can't be number 1
as far as Detroit sports.
Detroit's pro sports that are the year 5 or under. So the young guys in Detroit.
So I'd say,
or just who are your best 5 players?
Well, I'd just say Hutchinson and Jameer Gibbs.
Yes.
I'd say Parker Meadows.
Well, I'd put him over Parker Meadows.
Tarek Skubal.
I'd put them. Skubal. Pretty good.
Skubal's
pretty good, but he plays once a week.
Cade Cunningham is on that list. He's in that conversation, and he is a superstar. And all of these things that we're talking about, though, all of these things that we're talking about, it gets us to this point. Where are you as a Pistons fan with the trade deadline today? Do you want them to jam some trade through? You want them to try to make some blockbuster deal, which they're probably not going to do. I don't even know what a blockbuster deal would mean outside of getting a guy like Kevin Durant, which is not happening. Jimmy Butler goes to the Golden State. Thank you for that. Golden State 2 nights ago.
They weren't going to win They weren't going to win this year. Maybe he shakes that team up. Maybe they do something.
Exactly, but the point I'm trying to make is, you do see now a future with the Detroit Pistons, and everything, if you're Trajan Langdon, if you're J.B. Bickerstaff, has got to be, and I know we all want to make the playoffs this year, and I think barring some sort of catastrophic injury, the Pistons will at least be in a play-in situation. But everything now has been sped up. Your track now has been sped up because Cade Cunningham is that superstar that you so desperately need. So whatever it is you do in the remaining hour today of the trade deadline, whatever you do in the off season, every move you make now has got to be with the thought that we have our superstar. What do we need to help this player take us to the promised land? And again, for me, I'm sorry, I don't care about playoffs and playoff series wins. You play this stuff for championships. How do you win championships? In anything outside of that mindset doesn't even matter. It really doesn't. Eastern Conference, top half of the Eastern Conference champs. No, this is about the NBA title. It has been 20 plus years since you last won an NBA title. The previous time it was 89 to 04. That's a 15-year lapse in a title. Now it's 20 years and counting. But that track, that incline has been really steep now. because of the ascension of Cade Cunningham. So every move you make is what I'm trying to say has got to be the thought we're not going to mortgage our future based on a short-term mindset.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think often than not, too many times I get on this desk and I play, couch GM. I sit there and tell you what a president should do, what the GM should do, or this is the move, or this is what I would do, or I'm disappointed if I haven't seen that. I think what Trajan Langdon has done, he's come in, he's added some structure. JB Bickerstaff, that front office, they're now working. They're way, way, way far, and I don't care how bad the East is, they're still way far ahead of the pace that we thought they would be on. Hell, like I remember when I picked them to win 30, I was like, all right, you rushed me into it, KG. Yeah, sure, they'll hit 30. I didn't really think that they would, and here we are, they're close to it. So whatever they choose to do, however they choose to handle this situation, add the pieces, I'm going to just relax. Like, I don't have anything to say and moves that I want them to make. I like your part, though, Ryan. I say, hey, don't do too much. I think we can get biased because of the Lions and where they're at, and now where the Lions are, we want them to make a move. It's like the same time. It's like Myles Garrett. Well, that doesn't have to be the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons are year one of their rebuilding, their move. So stay smooth, stay under the radar. It's worked for them to this point. So I trust Trajan Langdon as of now until he gives me a reason not to. So I'm going to sit back.
Super chat, $10. Sergeant Curtis Schultz. What did the
Sergeant
Pistons give up on this trade? And thanks so much. If you'd like to be involved in the super chat, $5, $10, $20. We've got you covered. $5, we read your comment. $20, we cover a topic you're choosing. We got it all for you. And if you want to be a guest on the show, we'll do that via satellite. via satellite. Via the old. It's our version of the Zoom. We call it VMix. You want to be on the show? $50. We'll get you on the show as well. And then if you want to be in the Mavs chair, I always point it out. You want to be in the Mavs chair 15 minutes on a day of your choosing, $500. There you go. So we've got that for you. But what did the Pistons give up?
Give up 10 of them 200 second-round picks
on this trade. For instance, the Pistons got forward K.J. Martin, which you'll remember is the son of Kenyon Martin, the former #1 pick in the draft. Kmart, that's right. The Pistons gave up cash considerations, so some of their cap essentially for that. And then the Pistons traded with the Utah Jazz. They were actually a facilitator.
That's all they were.
They were a facilitator with this Golden State Miami Heat trade that allowed Jimmy Butler to go from Miami to Golden State. The Pistons ended up getting Josh Richardson and Lindy Waters III. So the Pistons actually have 3 players now, and they have 2 spots to fill. So somebody's got to.
They still have $9 million in cap space.
Yeah.
They used their mid-level exemption on KJ Martin. There's only, like I said, 3 guys came in. There's only room for 1. So 2 other players have to be moved.
2 other players have to be
moved. So we'll see. Was it the 2 guys they just brought in, or is it someone that's been on the Pistons for a while? Who knows?
And I heard Braylon Kenyon Martin was on somebody's podcast. I don't remember who it was.
Oh, it's Gil.
Yeah. Gilbert Arenas. It was on Gilbert Arenas' podcast. He was talking about with his son, KJ Martin, who was traded here. He just hopes KJ has a chance to play somewhere. Everywhere he's been, he has been a throw-in to a trade. Like nobody's traded for him, essentially. Or he has not particularly been traded, but he's been the guy to kind of make the money work.
The side dish. The side dish, if you will.
Exactly, Ricky. That's exactly right. He has been the piece of the puzzle that kind of makes everything fit in a trade. So he's been this, like, for lack of a better way to say it, cap casualty in so many different places he's been. But that's the business of professional sports, right? That's any business.
Here's my question. You feel free, any of you guys to jump in and answer this question. Look, I love Kenyon Martin. Like, I was a part of that era that wanted him in Cincinnati to win the championship. Him, Melvin Gore, Melvin Levitt. Like, that team was dope. I've always respected him. Like, them hooped in KD's celebrity basketball game with Kenyon Martin. I remember him and I leaving at halftime, going across the street, grabbing a drink, coming back, and neither one of us could hit a shot or a dunk in the second half. With that being said, how good is KJ Martin?
I can't answer that.
How good is KJ Martin? I see the stats, I see the numbers that don't tell the full story, but when he was in college, I was like, oh, he's cool. He's all right. You know, like, is he somebody that deserves some playing time? Is he someone that deserves to not be in the system, if you will? once again, these are just real questions.
Yeah, no, it's a good question, but again, we'll see what the Pistons do. There has been some movement. Again, we all know the big trade that happened. Jimmy Butler to the Warriors in a 5-team deal. Butler
Does
got
nothing for me.
Got a 2-year
Absolutely
extension,
nothing.
2-year, $121 million extension, and the Lakers continue to make moves. You mentioned this yesterday. You believe your boy Dalton Knecht
I told you.
was
my
going
guy.
to be a trade. I had to make sure this was Shams Charania
You thought I
and
sent it
not
to you?
Sharms Shamania.
Yeah.
Like the New York Post and the New York Porch.
Right.
Or Adam Schefter and Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
I had to make sure
Shams
this wasn't.
Sardinia?
I had to make sure this wasn't fake Shams. But Lakers trade Dalton Knecht, Cam Reddish to the Hornets for center Mark Williams. Williams will fit the bill and replace Anthony Davis down low, essentially. He'll be that force down on the
He's
block.
a 15-point-a-game guy.
Absolutely, and can pull down some rebounds as well. But LeBron, he begged, I don't want to say begged, but he was the guy that was instrumental in getting Rob Pelinka to draft Dalton Knecht. He loved this player. He loved playing with him. But then you get Luka, and you're almost
no room
like
for him.
there's no room for a guy like Dalton Knecht.
At the end of the day, like
Wish the Pistons got him.
situations are always evolving. Situations are always changing. When he drafted Dalton Knecht, that was the move. Now you add Luka Doncic, and now this is the move. LeBron, what would I talk about? I said LeBron's going to get his thing 3 weeks. So the first month, they're going to do something to try to make this thing work. You'll see LeBron, and then after that month, you'll figure it out. And this is them trying to activate in the same space. They now have a rim protector. You now have a legit center in this NBA, an athletic 7'1" center, and now you got guys that can shoot, guys that can get to the rack. Like, this is heating up. Teams are going for it now. I think basketball is always kind of, it can happen now. Like, this is the year. It doesn't have to be a long time out. I think, but with the NFL, basketball is starting to realize, man, you can make these big trades now. Like, why wait? Why strike while the iron's hot? So you're seeing a lot of that, and the landscape in the West has gotten a lot more interesting, with the exception of the Warriors. Like, I think they were 10 when they made the move. Like, this, I don't understand how Jimmy Butler fits in that schematic. Defensively, they'd be okay, but he doesn't move enough like they move in Golden State to come off those screens. So
He's never played with Steph, though.
But he doesn't fit in that system, so I'm eager to see what it looks like. I don't think
They weren't going to win the way they were, right? So what the hell? Might as well mix it up and see what they can do.
Yeah, they probably got him there just for his personality. They're like, he's going to add something to the locker room, put him in nice outfits and stuff like that.
I think the
nice
Lakers.
defensive team, like nice in terms of go ahead.
I think the Lakers improved. Honestly,
Yeah,
I think they've improved.
I think the Mavs did too.
agreed.
I think the Mavs are better with Kyrie, AD, and Clay
For now,
than they were. But if they get, we talk about this with the Lions. If they get their championship, who cares?
I agree.
If the Mavs score a championship with AD, Kyrie, and Clay, and then they break up the team next year, or AD has to go somewhere else, a year after that, does it matter? Do you care?
Yeah, with
Does the championship matter less?
a championship, I think for the people of Dallas, it's like, oh my God, Luka's gone, our identity is gone. No, your identity is Dallas Mavericks. Whoever wins the uniform in the Dallas Mavericks uniform is your identity. I think in the short term they got better. You add AD. AD is the guy that's going to play on both sides of the court. He is an elite player. He is an elite player on both sides of the court. He adds rebound. He has presence. What you sell him to do, he will do. Luka's a guy that let you down in the finals twice. Luka's a guy that he gets a ride. Luka's a guy. They got AD. They win. It's going to be interesting what they do. I think he's a leader. I think J. Kidd and Kyrie vibe. If they can get if they can get Derek Lively Jr. back, that will be the big move for them.
He's been hurt a long time.
I mentioned this the other day. One of the maybe it was it yesterday? No, maybe it was Monday. Wait, what's today? Thursday?
Thursday.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
I mentioned this the other day, and I think here's where the NBA is starting to pull me in. Now there's stories.
Yeah.
Now there's a story. Okay, now
Heck
I'm
yeah.
getting excited.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting excited
They
for
mixed
the
it up.
stretch run here. They did. And maybe this is the NBA's way of saying we know our league sucked and was without drama. There was no drama in our league. Now, can't you imagine a playoff series between the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks?
That'll happen.
Can't you imagine a playoff series between the Golden State Warriors and Dallas or the Lakers?
Must-see TV.
You've got
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
OKC is a team that is as good as any in the league. I mean, that is a bright young team.
Yeah.
They got that Chet Holmgren. He's
back
tonight. So, again,
KD to San Antonio.
it does. The problem is it feels like all the stories are in the West. All of them.
Yeah.
And I even, the Knicks were such a big story to me last year, and I know to you, Maz, and anybody that really loves basketball, but it kind of feels like the Dallas Mavericks, where the Knicks always get all the publicity and haven't won in 50 years. It's like the Dallas Mavericks, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
They get all the love, and they haven't won anything in 30 years.
It was 52 years, by the way.
52 years. But again, I feel like, and I'd have to pull up the standings to see where the Knicks are. I think they're third in the East right now, if memory serves correct. And they are. But I feel like the Knicks, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like they're less, they might be a better team this year, but they're less interesting. Does that make sense to you? Because they had that Villanova connection.
They did.
That Dante
was fun.
DiVincenzo was such a fun player to watch last year. And that story was such a good story.
How's he doing in Minnesota? by the way?
Not good.
Yeah, he hates it.
Not good. He hates. That's
He's
exactly
not
right.
vibing with Anthony Edwards. That story really took turn towards like March, like in the second half of the NBA season. It really wasn't a story in the beginning of it. And that second half is kind of when that story took off. When did DiVincenzo get to the Knicks? Would be my question. 2 years prior. Like 2 years prior. Anyway, that story definitely was a story, but I think it's in the West. I think that's where the teams are scared. The teams they're scared of what Jokic is in Denver. Like, you don't believe in necessarily the Denver team, but you believe in Jokic. SGA. Like, is this his year? Like, things are heating up in the West. That is the conference. So that's where teams are trying to make those moves. That's where all the stars are right now. They're in the West. They're trying to beat that side. LeBron's on that side with AD. So.
And again, if you look at the best team in the East right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I still don't think they could beat Boston in a 7-game series.
I think they could.
You think they can?
Yeah.
Can the Knicks?
I don't know. I don't know about them. Like I said, it's a different thing. I like when they got Cat, but they're missing something else. They're missing DiVincenzo, a guy like him, and they've been quiet here at the deadline. I'm not sure, man. I do think I like Cleveland. What I saw last night, and they were missing their best player, and they're good. And I know they're beating the Pistons. But they got a lot of good players on that team.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching them.
And they got better today, too. Trade. This is from Shams. Cleveland Cavaliers get forward DeAndre Hunter from Atlanta. And back the other way goes Karis LeVert, Gorgis Niang, 3 second-round picks, 2 future pick swaps. So
Jeez.
Cleveland goes all in, essentially, to get their big man. DeAndre Hunter can do it all. And they really feel like that solidifies a championship piece for them. That's a really good team. Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Hunter. That's a pretty formidable threesome right there.
And what people don't talk about, what people don't talk about as it relates to Cleveland last year in the playoffs, when they went against the Knicks, the Celtics, they didn't have their big man. They did not have their big man in Allen. Like, now they got Allen back. Allen is a guy. He's going to give you 13, 14, 15 rebounds. These are a lot of second-chance opportunities on offense. And then he's going to be a rim protector. And I don't just use that because we're throwing out rim protector for 6'10" and up guys. This guy actually is a rim protector. Allen gets boards. He keeps the rim intact. If they keep him in the finals, now mixed in with Atlanta, this is going to help them out a lot.
Did you see the video yesterday of the fan telling Kevin Love and some of the players about the trade?
Oh, yeah, on the bench.
Was that the greatest?
That was.
The fan in the front row was telling Kevin Love and who they got.
Yeah.
Who got traded.
That's great.
And he's like, wait, who? Any first-round picks? Any picks? And they're like, no, I don't see that. Just so-and-so.
That's funny, man.
That is so funny and so refreshing, too.
I like that the players, will talk to the fans. That's why those seats are so expensive, right? Almost part of the game, man.
It definitely is a part of the game.
That's why I love basketball, to go watch it. If you got a good seat, and the only way I'm getting is if I sneak down. If you get a good seat, you can't see a better game.
And then, the other day when the Luka trade went down,
that was great.
Kevin Durant had his phone out,
and they were looking
on the bench.
Yeah,
right.
and they were like,
"Yeah,
what?
Yeah,
that raw reaction. Basketball is great because It's the only sport where there's no helmets. You see these guys' faces. You are up there. You are close. It is pretty cool, man. It is pretty cool. So the NBA is starting to pull me back in because of this trade deadline. And again, about 35 minutes to go. If you're watching live, we'll keep an eye on it for you.
You are watching live.
You are watching live. Yeah. No.
And the Clippers and the Hawks just made a deal too on
I did not
Shams.
see that.
Bogey on the move.
Yep. Bog is on the move. Bogey. So the Clippers are sending. They're trading
please.
Terrence Mann and
You can put the
Bones
camera on
Highland.
yourself, too.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
sorry,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
sorry
yeah.
about that. They're trading. The Clippers are trading Terrence Mann and Bones Highland to the Atlanta Hawks for Bogdan Bogdanovic and 3 second-round picks.
All right. So Bogey can
Bogey
can
on the
shoot. It
move.
looks like the Atlanta Hawks.
It's over.
Yeah, I mean, they're mailing it in.
It's over.
I'm surprised that was
It's always over
Yeah.
for them. They've
I
never
agree
been
with
good. Never. Maybe with Dominique for a little bit. Maybe that's it. And I'm telling you, as a young man loving the game in the 70s, they sucked. They sucked with Maravich.
I lived in Atlanta, 89 and 94, man, and you loved Dominique, but you knew what it was.
They stink.
Like Dominique was same with Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson and Dominique, they gonna light it up in the stat column. Not gonna light up in the W's in the playoffs.
When I was
This
a
is what
kid,
it
they
is.
were green and blue. That was their colors. That's how far back
the
I
Atlanta
go.
Hawks.
Yeah,
Yes.
they used to be green and
They
blue.
were green and blue.
Wow.
I remember the throwback
that.
jersey.
Maravich played in a green uniform.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
It looks similar to that Dallas Mavericks uniform with
Yeah.
the blue
What are
and
they,
then the
the
white.
Hartford Whalers?
It's like
Wow, I
blue
just
ball
don't
green.
remember that.
Remember that throwback jersey was hot back in like 2005.
I thought it looked great then. I thought they should have kept those colors.
They hated Pistol Pete. Like when he got drafted to the Hawks, it's so funny. It was like reverse racism.
God, I love that
Like
guy.
the brothers wouldn't give him the ball because like all that, like the fancy stuff he was doing.
It's all right. He
Like,
would just keep it himself.
they wouldn't give him the ball though. I was like, oh man, see how it feels. It sucks.
He had those socks dripping down his legs, man. He was fantastic.
47 points a game in
Fantastic.
college, no 3-line. That's nuts.
Amazing.
Baby.
All right, guys. Hey, let's take a break. We'll go to the NFL next. The Lions made some news today, added to their coaching staff. We'll have that for you. Plus,
I know that guy.
Miles Garrett speaks. Dave Burkett got a little something from him, too, actually. But we'll get to that next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Hit that QR code if you want to take a look at their massive inventory throughout the Les Stanford products and cars and everything like that. Les Stanford Buick GMC here. Get a 2025 Hummer EV SUV for 24 months, $699 a month, $1999 down. Or a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab, 24 months, $359 per month. Sign and drive, no down payment required. GM discount required for both. Get to Les Stanford today or click on that QR code on the screen right there. Check out the massive inventory. Les Stanford in Dearborn and in Ferndale. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
And while you're scanning the QR code for Les Stanford, you can scan the QR code for Caesars Sportsbook and open up yourself a brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. When you do that, use the code word Woodward 1000 to get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account deposited at least $20. Make your first bet of $20 or more, and if that first bet happens to lose, you'll get that first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward 1000 to get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. We'll be right back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at LesStanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Dude, Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. And also, they want you to remember that it's fitness that fits into your budget. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, it's the gym for you because it's the gym for everybody. It's a vibe. Come on through. There's no judgment. The gyms are squeaky clean. And the people there are just simply dope, man. Planet Fitness, come on down because your fitness is essential.
And come on out to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. We take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Let's talk some NFL. We'll get to the Super Bowl in a little bit. Dr. Jeff Pierce, our WSN injury insider, will join us.
Super Bowl
is this week.
There's
we'll
a
get
Super
to that.
Bowl?
There is. But I want to stay a little bit closer to home and talk a little Detroit Lions, who they did make a move today on their coaching staff. They have added former NFL quarterback Bruce Gradkowski as an offensive assistant. This from Adam Schefter. Gradkowski, who played 11 years in the NFL. I didn't realize he played 11 years in the NFL.
He's a journeyman.
Bucks, Raiders, Bengals, Steelers, Browns. Spent the past 2 seasons as the offensive coordinator and play caller in the UFL for the St. Louis Battlehawks. He informed the Lions last night of his decision to take his first NFL coaching opportunity. And if that name sounds familiar, by the way, former Toledo Rocket.
That's right.
Shout out to the Toledo Rocket. And as you notice, one of the teams were
the Browns.
Joker almost got me decapitated. Like, legitimately, I want to say Derek Anderson was out for the season. Then Brady got hurt. Then Ken Dorsey got hurt. I played with so many quarterbacks that year. And then he ended up playing. We were playing against the Tennessee Titans, man. He threw a pass, and I almost got decapitated. But always a great guy, always savvy with the game. He was always staying extra, watching the films. He was always with the coordinators. And he was even explaining in the few weeks that he was with the Browns, explaining coverages and things like that. So he's had a knack for the game, man. You know, he was the quarterback for my boy Lance Moore with the Toledo Rockets. So much love.
I don't think we've heard that they've signed a quarterback coach yet. Am I correct?
Well, that's what I was going to ask next.
Yeah.
What's the status of Mark Brunell?
Yeah, where's Mark Brunell?
I just haven't heard his name at all.
That doesn't bode well.
But let me ask you this question: if he's
the quarterback coach
and he's not changing, then
right.
Why is there a need to say something?
Right, that's kind of what I feel about that too. I think we're all just kind of waiting for him to leave, or
another guy played on
what his motivations are too. Because again, anytime you're on just relate it to your own job. Okay, if you have a job and the boss leaves. Mm-hmm. And you are up for that job, or it would be the natural fit for you to make that next step at your job and get promoted.
And you don't get it.
And you don't get it. What do?
Gotta go. I've seen that happen at a radio station before, and you gotta get out of it.
You gotta
Especially
go,
in this
right?
industry.
I mean, meaning Ben Johnson leaves, his boss, and he gets passed over for the job. At that point, you probably go unless you are so committed to just staying in your lane and coaching quarterbacks because that's what you know well, which is totally fine. I mean, not everybody has aspirations outside of what they know. I mean, I'll speak for myself. It was never my aspiration, just on the TV side of things, to get a job in Chicago or New York or LA or go national or anything like that. I'm from Detroit. I want to work in Detroit. That is where I'm from, and that's where I'll always be. Like, so everybody's aspirations are different. So maybe he just wants to be the quarterback's coach.
Yeah.
I believe everyone has a number, though.
Dynamite drop it.
Well, I mean, you said everything. Like, you legitimately said exactly what I was gonna say. There's nothing left to be said. You said, well, if he gets passed over, like, maybe he just want to be quarterback coach.
Right.
Like,
do you have any stories? You almost got decapitated. You said, I hate to tell the guy how bad he was as a player.
It's not about being bad as a player. It's the same thing we talk about now. Like, quarterbacks that are short, they struggle, correct? Bruce Berkowski's not necessarily a tall guy, and at the line of scrimmage, he throws a lot of balls on the higher trajectory. That's what shorter quarterbacks do. So he threw one over the middle. I'm running a 15-yard dig, got to 17, booked it back down to 15, and that ball got to ascending. As the ball ascends, I got to jump. I'm 6'3", and I got hops. So you go up in the air, it makes you a target. I almost got decapitated. But what was the other guy you was talking about? Mark Brunell. Funny story about Mark Brunell. Last touchdown catch actually that I caught as a Jet in the regular season was from Mark Brunell. We played in the last game of the season. We're playing Buffalo. This is 2010. We've already made the playoffs. We're 11-4, about to be. We're 10-5, about to be 11-5. What are we? We're 10-4, about to be 11-5. And they set Mark the whole game. They set me and Santonio at halftime. But right before the half, Mark was like, "Man, screw this. You just want to go get one real quick?" I've never turned it down a touchdown. 100%. It was a go route, ran on Leotis McKelvin, easy, caught it, split the tackles, boom, touchdown. He was like, "Don't worry, I got you 17." So Mark's a good dude.
I love that.
Lefty at that.
I love that.
Did you see that tweet I sent you the other day on Mark Sanchez?
I did. I retweeted it.
Mark Sanchez. Listen to this, guys. Mark Sanchez, who was Braylon's quarterback in New York, two AFC championship games. He has more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, and Kirk Cousins combined.
Wow.
Remember when we had that heated discussion?
What is that, 4?
4. Remember we had that heated discussion 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and I was like, I got more playoff wins than all of them.
Yeah.
I was on all them teams. So
there it is.
Those are 4 wins.
And those are Rex Ryan teams that should have been there. Should have won a Super Bowl. But
what does he know? I got more wins than Lions do since ever.
That's so funny.
Think about it, ever.
Yeah.
4.
No, it's
That's why.
It's not a big number either.
In
4.
the Super Bowl era.
In the Super Bowl era.
Super Bowl era, for sure.
That's why you need a guy like Myles Garrett.
Yeah, you do need a guy like Myles Garrett. Before I get to Garrett, I just want to say Aiden Hutchinson was on with McAfee earlier today.
Oh, was he mad at me?
No. And he did say that he believes that if the Lions were to make it to the Super Bowl, that he would have been able to play. That's how far along in his rehab that he believes.
News.
And I think that is great news. And for Super Bowl aside, you just want to know that this player that you're counting on for so much next year looks like he's going to be, from day one, full go.
That's
and
amazing.
I think that is very important.
His leg looked like a sock puppet, right? Against Dallas. That's I never saw a leg look worse. And I watched Joe Theismann's leg being broken, and Alex Smith as well. This guy, and he lucked out. They were as lucky as you could be. They were as clean a break as you can. We'll have Dr. Pierce on later. We can ask him about that. But that's really fortunate for the Lions. Really fortunate.
Yeah, it's fortunate now because you're only in February, so you're not talking about having to do OTAs with your non-contact. OTAs, there's no pass, there's no hitting, there's no tackling, so you'll be able to go full go by the time OTAs start in mid-April. You'll be full go. Then you won't have to hit or contact until June, if you will. So he's got a nice timeline for getting back, getting confident. Because at this point, once he gets healthy from this fracture, it's just about the mental. It's about the mental approach. It's about trusting, your leg's going to be okay. It's not going to backfire on you. So you have from now, essentially, let's say he's telling the truth. You got from now until September, whatever, to get your leg and to get your confidence. This bodes well for the Detroit Lions and Aiden Hutchinson.
Fantastic.
It is so important to have this player healthy for you. And
I grabbed that real quick if you want it.
Yeah, sure.
Would you like to hear that?
Great.
All right, hang on, guys.
Please.
Let's make sure I did this correctly. Hang on.
So on Defensive Player of the Year, like tracking too.
Oh, yeah.
You were playing the best ball by far that you had played in the NFL.
Yeah.
How much does that like kind of make you eager for next season, or how do you kind of deal with that, knowing that you were on a rocket ship and then bang, it just gets all stopped out of nowhere?
Oh, it hurt. That was, despite the pain, being ripped out of that season and knowing what I could have done and what could have been. It's like that's what I have the hardest time with. But then again, I'm going into year 4 next year, so I'm young and I got a lot of good football.
Yeah,
left,
and I
know
assume
can pick up on it.
MCDC will use this entire ending of the year as motivation.
Well, good job, Pete. I appreciate the effort there.
Sorry.
You know, it wasn't the right bite, but I mean, just to hear the conversation is good. I appreciate that effort.
You got it, bro.
You know,
I'm Pat McAfee fatigued.
Yeah, he talks about. I do a little bit too, but at the same time, you know, he's the guy that's getting a lot of interviews.
Oh, yeah.
Super Bowl week,
No doubt.
People are going right to him. Aiden Hutchinson did talk about Aaron Glenn as well, and this is where I think Aaron Glenn's really going to be a good head coach because of the way Hutchinson talks about him. He said the right thing at the right moment every time, and I think that's what it takes, right? Like,
I think Calvin Shepard's going to be a clone.
Yeah, I do too. But I just when you look at these two coordinators, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, I think Ben Johnson is in a more talented situation. He's got more talent on his roster. But I think Aaron Glenn, for my money, is going to be a better head coach because
I hope you're right.
He's got more Dan Campbell in him than Ben Johnson does. I
Agreed.
heard Ben Johnson on Colin the other day.
He's like a professor.
He just doesn't inspire me.
Right.
He might be a genius, but he doesn't inspire me. And I'm sorry. Like, maybe I'm a little blinded by the Bears thing, and I just don't think I am. But he's like, he's kind of like a Mike McDaniel to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Mike McDaniel could be this wicked smart offensive coordinator, but is he going to inspire you?
Look,
Aaron Glenn is going to inspire you. Go ahead, Bray.
No, you're absolutely good. At the end of the day, offensive guys are in the booth, okay? Offensive coordinators, they're in the booth during games. So you get to see them from a sky's eye view. You don't get a chance to see the intention of them. When you look at a defensive coordinator, they're just like coaches. They're on the field. They're not in the booth. They're dialed in. They got the hat back.
Ben was on the field.
You said what?
Ben was on the
True,
field.
but like usually you see them in the office. I mean, you see them in the suites, and even when they're on the field, they're right here. Okay, cool. This is what we're gonna go with. Yeah, let me get that. Man, Aaron Glenn's dialed in. He's on the players. Got players by the head. This is what we're gonna do. Yo, I didn't see that. Why did you do that on this play? Oh, I'm like they're dialed in. So you get a chance to see Aaron Glenn be a leader. You get a chance to see him be a head coach, if you will. Like I've always said, just with from kind of like watching, defensive coordinators have to be like a head coach, if you will. And that's what you saw to Aaron Glenn. You saw him with players. You saw him with players, and then players got better in games because of things. How many times with Kirby Joseph did we see he and Kirby Joseph have those moments and have those talks, and then you figure it out in that game? Like, you trust what you saw out of Aaron Glenn. You've seen him initially be a head coach in this league. Ben Johnson, not so much. It's right here. So I think that's why you trust him.
So what now for the Detroit Lions defense? And again, the name that keeps popping up for everybody is Myles Garrett. And he was on with Rich Eisen yesterday. And I do want to point out, Dave Burkett did, in fact, see him in passing yesterday. Burkett's at the Super Bowl, Lions beat writer for the...
I talked to Dave this week. He didn't have enough time to come on with us. He's very busy.
For the Detroit Free Press. And he said, how would the Lions... have you thought about playing for the Lions? He's like, I haven't thought about it yet. It was in passing. You just didn't get there yet. But the Lions... Put that graphic back up if you don't mind.
Oh, sure, buddy. The odds?
Pete. Yep, the odds. The Lions obviously are on the graphic for the next team. I forget, what's that?
Here, I'll zoom in for you, buddy.
It's Cleveland, Washington, Raiders.
Who's this?
I'm zooming in right now. Hang on, it takes a little bit.
That's Pro Football Focus.
Okay, Pro Football Focus.
It's
So
DraftKings.
Cleveland is the favorite to keep him. Not trade him.
Yeah.
But then it's Washington, the Raiders, Lions, Patriots, Packers, and Bears. So outside of staying with the Cleveland Browns, it was 2 AFC teams and 4 NFC teams. 2 of those teams are in your division.
I don't
the
think
Bears
Cleveland
and
will be
Packers.
dumb enough to send him to another AFC team.
I don't think so either, unless it's
The Raiders.
And I don't think the Raiders are in a position right now to do
Wow,
that.
him and
either.
Max Crosby?
Well, that's kind of. And if you're the Raiders, that might be the only way you could compete against a Mahomes, against a Herbert, against a Bo Nix.
Yeah.
That might be the only way you could compete.
Go grab Sam Darnold or Daniel Dimes just to have some type of system in play, if you will.
Sam Darnold and Myles Garrett makes that team much better.
1,000%.
Wow.
That makes that team much better.
But you saw those teams on there. The Bears and the Packers are lurking.
No
they
doubt.
are lurking.
And that's the point, right?
Whoever if this trade goes through, you see who is number one on that team, because that means what if Cleveland gets a quarterback? What if Cleveland figures out the situation? What if they bring him in? Well, this is what we're going to do. That's why they're there. But with that being said, who do the Browns have the best relationship with in the NFC? That's who's going to get Myles Garrett if they're willing to deal. Which one
Could
of those?
be the Lions.
And that's what I was going to say. Whichever GM or president or owner has the best relationship with the Browns, that's who they'll go to, because that's what it comes down to. It's the friendship, it's the moves. All right, well, he clearly doesn't want to be here. We clearly can't keep him here. We don't. You know what? F it. We need to recoup some of those first round picks. So, who is that first number they're dialing? That's who's going to get him.
Agreed.
Essentially.
So let's hear from Myles Garrett, and let's just start with Rich Eisen asking Myles Garrett where he'd like to play.
And so, do you have some teams in mind that you would like to go to?
I mean, there are definitely contenders on the AFC side and NFC side. I'm not, glued to anyone at the certain moment. But like I said, I just want to be in a position to to play in those big games and win big games, and feel like I can make a meaningful impact and elevate a team and take.
Yeah. So there. What's that?
Detroit. Dennis Schroeder comes to Detroit.
Dennis Schroeder. There's the Pistons trade.
There we go.
There we go. Okay.
There's Shams.
Hey, you know what? I mean, look, Pistons trade. I'd like to see what they gave up, but
breaking news.
Dennis Schroeder is
Got
coming
13 minutes
to Detroit
left.
from Utah, and they need a ball handler.
Is he still a blonde?
Team Germany.
They need a ball handler. They do.
Right.
I mean, with Jaden Ivey out, he's a guy that can step up and be a little bit of a point. He plays defense. He can shoot the three. I mean, he does a lot for you, and that kind of solidifies a backcourt, I think. I really like that move to try to give. They probably didn't have to give up anything for him because it was probably just cash considerations. I don't know what the trade is, but I'm sure. Yeah, the Utah Jazz weren't going to keep Schroeder.
Yeah,
they're trying to rebuild.
Yeah, and this is when we talked about it. You said, "What did they do? What move would they make? How would you feel?" And I said, "Yeah, I trust what Trajan Lane is building here." I said they're ahead of the schedule, so I believe that they'll make a move. They won't be crazy, but it'll fit into what they're doing now. Dennis Schroeder is a guy that has playoff experience. He's played with some of the best players in the league. He's played with LeBron. At one point, he was eligible for a contract. Now, we know what happened and why he didn't take the deal, but he was eligible for up to $86 million. Like, this is what people thought about him in that role as a point guard. So to have him, you're getting a guy that can play. You're getting a guy that is always going to be in shape. He's a very accountable player. Once again, you see what Trajan is doing. He's bringing in professionals. Now, this is another professional player. Plays for his team in the offseason in Germany. I just hope he's not in here complaining about KD, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's
what it was like the argument about the Euro game versus the American game and blah, blah, blah.
All right, so keep an eye on that. If the Pistons do anything, but that feels like they have wrapped it up now. Maybe. 12 minutes to go in the NBA trade deadline. Back to Myles Garrett here. I want to get to Pete. You with me here?
Yeah, I'm here, brother. I'm good. I'm good, my man.
I know you got a million things going on.
We're
in that
good.
booth
I
right
got you
now.
first.
Okay. This is Garrett talking about why he wants to move on.
Felt it was time. I had taken my time after the season. Kind of. Relax and decompress emotionally. Want to distance myself a little bit and spend a little time talking to my family about, the really how we feel about this decision. I mean, I'd kind of felt this way. I wanted to make sure I was completely detached, and they felt the same way I did. And I feel like everyone's kind of on the same page, and felt like it was time to at least speak on something that was near and dear to my heart. And have a lot of love for Cleveland, but it's always for me been about continuing for championships, winning those big games, and winning Lombardis, and we haven't had the opportunity to do that, and that's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, and
I like these windows for these players. The careers are so short. I mean, and I do think players have a certain level of power now that they didn't have so much years ago, because I do think the power of social media and the ability to speak for yourself and put it out in mass, and to see what history has told you. I mean, there's enough players now, like a Calvin Johnson, let's say. There's enough players that have been with an organization. They have been wasted with that organization. Sure, they made their money. Sure, they're going to get a gold jacket.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they look back, and I'm sure Calvin Johnson would trade in one gold jacket for one Super Bowl championship. I mean, I just in to be in that spot, to speak for yourself and kind of advocate for yourself, that's what you want to do. I don't think gives the organization a license to be bad and ruin your career.
I mean, I think back in the day, like as the way the fans looked at it, and so did the owners in the front office, like players should just be happy to be in the league. Players should be happy to be in the league and get a contract for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, however long you're going to handicap yourself to a team. You should be lucky to be in the NFL, to make money, to play a game, to play a sport. And as the money got up, that's how fans felt. Fans like, shoot, you make all this, just shut up and play, essentially. Well, now with more exposure, more video, more interviews, more things, more player platforms, we can talk about the things, and then you can actually see. You see organizations are run bad. You see GMs are horrible. You see teams are terrible. You see conditions sometimes are bad. So now you can understand, I see why this guy wants out. If you're the average fan and you're looking at Myles Garrett and you hear what team he plays for, you can just think, what have I heard about Cleveland in the last 5, 6, 7 years? Nothing positive. Nothing positive. I can see why he might want to get out, and I think that's the part I like. I got lucky. I got traded. I got traded from Cleveland. I got traded to the Jets, and I was able to go to San Fran and Seattle and then go back to the Jets. But if I would have had to stay in Cleveland for the length of my contract, which was 7 years with an option after 6, I would have been miserable for 7 years, especially just think of that time frame in Cleveland, 2005 to 12. So I like that athletes can ask for ways out. And then if you see it, too, it's like, I understand it. They're not just complaining about it.
Just remember that this Cleveland team was a team that, well, at least I overrated. I thought they were going to be a chance to be in the playoffs.
They're a quarterback away.
Right. Now, I thought Deshaun Watson would come back and be him. He's not. So I was wrong there. But they have some talent on this team. They could play defense. So as much as I'd like to see him come here, they might be able to convince him with a few moves that they could sign him and he could finish his career in Cleveland. I hope not, though.
Cleveland is gonna be Cleveland. It is what it is. Like even when they won, even when they got to the playoffs last year, they got it through the skin of their teeth. They got it because they had a good defense. It's not about just having a good defense. It's about trusting an owner. It's about a coach and an owner and a GM. And for whatever reason, the owner that I had was a much different owner than it is now. This is the second owner since I've been gone.
Yeah.
Realistically, there's always something that happens in Erie, the mistake by the lake. So until they show me something, I understand what Myles Garrett is. Like, they made it to the AFC Championship. They won basically all the awards. You still didn't trust that Cleveland team.
Yeah.
You just never trust them.
Here's Myles Garrett talking about that conversation he had with the Cleveland Browns.
There we go.
Take lightly, it took time and lots of conversation, but just looking at kind of the trajectory of the team, talking to some of the higher ups, and I have a lot of respect for them, but I just don't think we're aligned on where the team is going in the near future, and I feel like the window for us as athletes is only so broad, and it only continues to close as years go by with anything be able to happen on that field from day to day, and I want to be able to go out there and compete at the highest levels, day in and day out, and playing for champions, like I said.
Look, now, with that being said, as I've been harsh to the franchise, I'll soften up a little bit. Franchise can't change. We've seen that here. People can't change. Like, I like Stefanski as a coach. It seems like they're becoming a little bit better. What's the move they did last year, Maz, where they let my former coach Callahan, they let him go to play with his son, coach with his son in Tennessee. So it seems as though Cleveland's trying to change the tide in that regard. But with that being said, Myles Garrett has been there 8 years. And sometimes, even though something's going to change and you see the best, it's still time for you to get out, because you have a lot of that energy from the past 8 years, different coaches, different things, different lies that were said behind closed doors that nobody knows about. So they can change. They might be changing, but it's still time for Myles, in his mind, to get out of there.
What he wants to happen next.
It's how I feel now.
So what happens next? What do you want to happen next?
Well, a trade to happen next, but I just want to go to a contender.
So you want to have a say in where you wind up, is what you're saying?
I would love to. I know in my position I don't have much say in where I go, but hopefully we can leave off on good terms, and we can find a middle ground between us.
And so do you have some teams in mind that you would like to go to?
I mean, there are definitely contenders on the AFC side and NFC side. I'm not glued to anyone at the certain moment, but like I said, I just want to be in a position to to play in those big games and win big games, and feel like I can make a meaningful impact and elevate a team and take them over the top.
All right.
Is that team the Cleveland Browns? What happens if the Browns say we're not trading you?
I mean, it's possible. They could do that, but that's a little bit further down the line that I'm willing to look. I know things have changed night by night, and I'm sure people are calling and hopefully making some tempting offers, but I'm grateful for my opportunity, and I know that recently no one stuck to one team seeing Luka, so I'm sure what happens.
I mean,
there you go. No one stuck to one player. Just see Luka.
I think they will deal him. The way he's talked, he has thought this out. He talked it over with his family. This is not just some
Sounds
guy.
like a really smart guy
He's not
who thought this. Exactly.
He's not a disgruntled guy saying, "Hey, I'm getting the hell out of here. Trade me." This is a family man that's talked to it. And as much as he likes the Cleveland area where he lives, he knows, like Braylon said, they're probably not going to be able to go anywhere. And he wants to have a chance to end his career playing meaningful games. And come back, man. Just come to Detroit. It's not that far.
And then you
3 hours.
I mean, Detroit is a similar city in terms of the weather, I was going to say. And then you look, he's been in Cleveland 8 years. You're talking about Cactus from Texas. He's talking about Cactus from Texas, a state with no, as we always talk about, no state
Maybe
tax.
go to the Cowboys then.
Like, that's what you look at. You're like, if I got to be here for 8 years suffering in Cleveland and this organization doesn't want to seem to get it right, at least get me somewhere nice. Then you start to look at winners and nice places. So, Detroit on the winner side, but maybe just getting the hell out of Cleveland. Right?
We're going to play Stump the Maz next, but before we do that, top of the next hour, I do want to play for you what Amon-Ra said about Myles Garrett. We'll do that next. Then we'll play Stump the Maz. Then we'll go around the NFL. Then we'll do Dr. Jeff Pierce, talking about some injuries, talking about the Jaden Ivey update. We'll ask about Aiden Hutchinson saying he could have played at the Super Bowl, what he thinks about that. All that and so much more. Hour number 2, straight ahead, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. But first, a message from Sabbath.
That's right, everybody. You can fuel your sports fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Poor Kenny G ain't there. Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Head to SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com right now. You can choose your favorite roast. Use the code word Woodward, and you get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Merch. Ricky G.
I don't have the live read, but what's the website?
Oh, it's the merch. Shop.woodwardsports.com.
Shop.woodwardsports.com.
Right there. Absolutely.
Look, I know you, like me, you probably got the same Lions gear for the last 2 years, same Tigers gear. It's time to get some new gear. Just hit the website, shop.woodwardsports.com. Get you something new. We got 49 days until the Tigers take the field. Don't wear the same stuff you had last year. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Go now.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won.
David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Everybody, the big game requires a big party. Woodward Sports live watch parties at Hayes Social. Come watch the game with the crew on 3 17-foot TV screens. Book your table today before they're gone. 586-247-2223. Great food, drink specials, and the best big game party around. Hayes Social at 21 Mile and Hayes Road in Shelby Township. Brought to you by 1800 Tequila, Sabbath Coffee Roasters, Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza, and New Holland Brewing Company, Maz.
All right, dreaming of a new home and feeling a financial pinch? Well, Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, you don't have to pay that $5,000. They will. Call them today, 248-290-8242. Hit them up online, markwhitesells.com. One more time on that, markwhitesells.com, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
The NBA trade deadline is now over, and the couple of more trades that have just been announced by Shams. The Indiana Pacers are trading James Wiseman and cash to the Toronto Raptors. The LA Clippers traded Kevin Porter Jr. to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Memphis Grizzlies, man, I forgot about Marcus Smart. Memphis Grizzlies traded Marcus Smart and a 2025 first-round pick to the Washington Wizards. And then Detroit, of course, if you're just tuning in, acquired Dennis Schroeder from the Utah Jazz.
That was basically part of the Jimmy Butler trade.
Absolutely.
So he just got rerouted.
There you go.
Wizards is where you go to die.
I forgot about
or get paid.
Yeah, he said it. I forgot about the Wizards altogether.
Yeah. That's right. Shout out Troy Weaver.
Bring back the Bullets.
Guys, I want to do a quick pivot. Dr. Jeff Pierce, our WSN Injury Insider, is on the line with us live from Israel right now.
Just
Dr.
paused.
Pierce, and he just paused. He just froze.
Yep.
Frozen. Froze.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Just froze on us.
Amsterdam, like the red light district.
Dang.
Yeah, he's in the red light district today.
He's
he
on
just
a weak
froze.
Wi-Fi, he says.
All right, he's on a weak Wi-Fi. Well, let me know if we get Dr.
I will
Pierce.
do that, guys.
If
In
it
the
works out,
meantime-
it works out. In the meantime, I want to get to this.
Oh.
Amon-Ra. Okay.
Let's
back.
try
Let's
again.
try again. Dr. Jeff Pierce. There you go. Our WSN Injury Insider.
Great lighting, Doc.
Is he on a plane? What's he doing? There
I'm
you
trying.
Go. There you go. Where are you, Doc?
I'm in a jazz bar in Israel.
Sounds sexy.
Oh, man. Forget about the injuries. Show us a little bit about that. Take that phone and give us a quick. Wow.
I'm going to start telling people that's where I'm at every time.
Hell yeah, Doc. Hell yeah.
Hey, if that doesn't get me attention, I don't know what does.
Right.
What time is it there, Doc?
It's 10 o'clock.
That's awesome.
Uh-oh. Start. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Oh, you can hear the music.
They're starting early.
This is fantastic.
I like what's on the menu.
Music.
How long are you there, Doc? Tell us more about Israel.
I'm coming home tomorrow morning.
Wow.
Excuse me. Actually, we're going to talk about Israel. Excuse me. You there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here.
Just
I'm
talk
just
to
watching
us.
you. I'm mesmerized by this. The fact that modern technology is allowing us to speak.
I'm
with
blown
you.
away.
Yeah. Hey, Doc. All right, let me ask you one question. One question. Aiden Hutchinson is on with the Pat McAfee Show today. He said that the world will never know, but he would have been able to play in the Super Bowl had the Lions made it. What do you say to that?
I'm not betting against them, especially if you really don't need to. We're gonna go with he could have played.
That's
Why
what
not
we're gonna go
endorse him? You guys hear me?
Need to get some new Wi-Fi.
What's that?
I think we have a
whoever
delay.
house he's in need to get some new Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think there's a delay.
Hey, Doc, we got to try this another time.
Yeah, we love you, Doc. Call us tomorrow when you get back.
We love you.
though.
We love you, man.
Enjoy the jazz.
Dr. Jeff Pierce, MichiganSportsandSpine.com.
There you go. All right. Let me get back to Myles Garrett. We appreciate Dr. Pierce and the commitment. He could have just said, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, he did. 100%.
10 o'clock at a jazz bar. Pretty good stuff.
I wanted to see Bar Raphael. Never mind the jazz bar.
All right, guys, here we go. Amon-Ra. This is from the other day. Amon-Ra wants the Lions to go get Myles Garrett. Take a listen.
Him and Aiden and Aleem and DJ and all of our D-line, bro.
Who'd you trade for?
I swear, if you have a D-line that's nasty, you don't need any corners. You don't need anything. Just play off and just play it off.
Who are you gonna trade? Who'd you trade for? Who'd you trade for? Like, who'd you give?
I mean, I don't know. How does it usually work? They usually trade draft picks, right?
A draft pick and a player, or like an Aiden for Myles. No.
Bro, Aiden's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Aiden's about to get locked up in 3 months. He's locked line for life.
Maybe like a. And you also got to take into account like how much he's getting paid right now because you're gonna take over his contract. So
how much is he getting paid? Can we get a number on that, Mike? How much is Myles Garrett? What's his salary cap?
So
right now?
so he's gonna dent your salary cap. So you maybe not as high of a draft pick. Who knows?
Myles Garrett, Aiden. Oh my God! Like even like during the year, we were thinking like Max Crosby and Aiden would be nuts.
Oh, Max would be nuts too. Yeah.
But I think he's going to be a part Raider for life too. But wait, so since he requested a trade, right? Doesn't mean he's leaving, right?
I mean, it's up to I think GM if he wants to trade him. But yeah, but some organizations honor the players if they want to get traded. Some don't. Like I think Cooper Kupp just posted that the Rams told him they're going to trade him. Like sometimes teams don't even tell you; they just trade you. At least they told him, and they're working with him, apparently, based off his post, that, they're trying to work with him on where they're going to trade him.
So there you go. Good for Amon-Ra.
The St. Brown brothers.
Yeah, that's a pretty good podcast.
Equiminius loves to, stir the pot.
He needles them.
Yes, he's a needler. He's a needler.
He's a needler.
KG. I say it every time. It's KG.
That's KG. Equiminius is KG.
It's KG. You told me yourself you like to stir the night. That's what you do. Okay, that's it's just I don't watch the podcast like that. I just feel like the little clips that I see, he's always like busting balls.
Did you hear him what he also said about Cooper Kupp?
No.
He said because Cooper Kupp is going to be traded. Mm-hmm. The Rams have told him that he's going to get traded. Matter of fact, Matthew Stafford's wife Kelly, of course, outspoken as she is, says that would be awful. I wouldn't mind if he got traded. I wouldn't mind if they traded Matthew as well. That's what she said today.
Can I tell you what the latest is with Matthew Stafford?
Yeah.
And of course, here we go. Rams star quarterback Matthew Stafford is projected to sign a 3-year, $150 million contract extension with $100 million guaranteed. Stafford only has $4 million guaranteed over the next 2 years. Vikings, Giants, Steelers are expected to have trade interest in Matthew Stafford.
Really?
And she said today that you know what? We don't mind. If LA, we had a great time here in LA. If they want to trade us, we're okay. It's an adventure for us. Trade us. But she didn't like that. She didn't like Cooper Kupp possibly getting traded. Would he be a good fit here, Bray?
Who cares what Kelly likes? I'm so sick and tired of her.
I'm just saying what she said.
Really?
And I'm simply saying, who cares what she's talking about? Like, I could care less what she says. Like, would he be a good fit? Yeah. You get rid of Tim Patrick. This is a guy that's not getting paid a ton of money. Like, he's towards the end of his run, but still a great route runner. Still one that knows the offense, that will dial in with the quarterbacks. He'll make it that much easier. He's a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown that can find his spot. Like, Amon-Ra St. Brown seems to be always open. Well, Cooper Kupp seems to have been being almost always open in the last 5 or 10 years. So, yeah, and you get Cooper, J-Mo, and then Amon-Ra, and you don't have to pay J-Mo, and you don't have to pay Cooper. So, I like it. It's the only problem is, not to cut you off, is Tim Patrick provided that 6'3" body.
He's only on a 1-year deal anyway, though, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, in terms of bringing him back, like, he was a big body, 6'3" guy. You started to see a little bit more. They started to trust him on those bang-aids, those post routes, those back end zone touchdown plays, like Josh Reynolds. That's a big body type play. Cooper Kupp and Amon-Ra St. Brown are the same height, and J-Mo is a short 6 foot, if that even makes sense. So that would be the only downfall.
Who are the teams you said would trade for Stafford?
Vikings.
Wow, why?
Why
well,
not?
Maybe they think they're in a Super Bowl window now. Giants and Steelers.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
All interesting.
Can you imagine him? I think with the Steelers, it would be that would be a phenomenal get for them.
And I do believe, and I don't know if Stafford's going to get traded or not. I think it's maybe 50-50 even that he would, because Sean McVay's a young man. They are retooling a little bit. There's no Aaron Donald there. Now you're getting rid of Cooper Kupp. You've got your Super Bowl. Could you get rid of Matthew Stafford? This NFL would turn upside down if Matthew Stafford got traded, because I think Matthew Stafford, outside of Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, I don't
depends
even
on who
know.
you
I
ask.
can't even say that yet. Outside of that, I think you're looking at Matthew Stafford as
Matt Stafford,
that guy.
Matt Stafford's gone to LA and he's unlocked his level. He's unlocked his confidence level, which has him as an elite quarterback over the last 3 years. You can say what you want to, it is the truth. Ryan Ermanni is speaking facts. Going to Minnesota, man, is the reason why you asked that question. Who was the offensive coordinator when he won the Super Bowl? Kevin O'Connell. Matt Stafford on a 2-year deal. You still have Matt Stafford. Now he's tutoring J.J. McCarthy. J.J.'s sitting under him. J.J.'s not getting paid.
They got Daniel Jones, and they have what's his name?
Sam Bradford's on
Darnold.
It's a 1-year deal. So Sam Bradford's up, and then Daniel Jones. They just picked up his contract for the end of the Giants deal. He can move him.
I want to read this super chat if I could real quick. Super Bowl Wilson, $5. I read Browns owe $36 million in dead cap charge if they trade Garrett before June 1st, $14 million after June 1st. Is that enough to make the Browns wait or no? Depending upon what kind of deal they get, really. I think that's what that is up to. Who's going to blow them away? Who's desperate?
Wait.
They probably wait until after. And just to the Stafford thing, I mean, you're right. I mean, if you look at JJ came out early too. JJ was 21 years old. If you do sign Stafford on a 2 or 3 year deal, let's call it a 3-year deal, but 2 years.
A Kirk Cousins
right?
deal.
Kirk Cousins type situation where you got a guy for 2 years.
Get rid of him after 1.
Why wouldn't you? You could have JJ play that Jordan Love type role where you come in after year 3 or after year 4, and then you're 2 years. Really, you have 2 years on a
extra
on a rookie contract that you're the starter, and then you could figure out if JJ is the guy or not. Or if you're the Vikings, you could decide to have somebody throw a Hail Mary trade to you, because JJ McCarthy, and I don't care what anybody says, would be the #1 pick in this draft if he was in this draft. That is not even a guess. That is not even a guess. He would be the #1 player in this draft if he was coming out this year.
Because Jackson Dart is starting to move up the charts.
Yeah.
Because Jackson Dart is moving up the charts because there are so many teams desperate for a quarterback, and there are no
Supply and
quarterbacks
demand.
in there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just saying like this. The Matt Stafford, the Vikings makes a ton of sense. You give Matt Stafford, like, look what Sam Hubbard. Look what Sam Darnold was able to do with that offense. Look at what he was able to do with those skill weapons. You give that same skill position and 9 home games indoors to Matt Stafford as he's playing like this.
Kill it.
Matt Stafford's receiver goes from Cooper
my
Kupp
God.
over to Justin
JJ.
Jefferson, Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, a player that he already knows realistically. He already knows T.J. Hawkinson. And then you have that running back and then an offensive line that's healthy. Let's not forget, Minnesota's offensive line was banged up all last year. They were without 2 of their starters, left tackle most notably. So this is a situation to join a comfortable Matt Stafford with Kevin O'Connell with those weapons.
Hey, if I was a player, I'd want to go play in Minnesota.
Why wouldn't you?
Their
Especially if you're an
situation.
offensive player.
Yeah,
right.
I love their situation.
Well,
They
hell,
have
if you're a defensive player, your defensive coordinator is Brian Flores.
They got it going,
Pretty darn
man.
good.
They got one of the top 3 stadiums in the league.
14 wins last year.
Why the hell not?
You know?
Man, and I keep throwing this out there. That was with Sam Darnold. That they got 14. That they got 14 wins.
Right.
Stafford don't miss those 2 passes that Darnold missed in week 17. He don't.
Yeah, this is true.
He don't.
Super Bowl Cartier wants to fight me. JJ would not get drafted before Cam Ward or Shador. I guarantee you that he would.
I agree too.
I guarantee you that he would.
That's okay. He can fight.
Supply and
You
demand.
can fight.
Cartier can
It's
fight.
fine. You can fight. You're a good guy. You can fight.
Fight it out, Cartier.
I'm gonna just stay out of it because it's hypothetical.
Yeah, it is a hypothetical, but it is a hypothetical. A bunch of NFL draft analysts leading up to the Sam Darnold conversation have said essentially the same thing. If Darnold was the guy for you and Minnesota was going to sign Darnold and JJ was up for a trade,
It would have happened already. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, because they're not going to re-sign Darnold now because Darnold's no good. He blew it. You know, in the 2 biggest games he's played, he crapped himself down his leg.
Yeah.
You know, that's just what it is. So he'll get paid somewhere though because teams are so desperate for a quarterback.
Giants, I could see.
What is the cap on the per year for Darnold based on his last 2 games? What would you cap it at?
So conservative estimate, 3-year, 30 a year. That's conservative estimate. That would be less than Baker Mayfield, but more than Geno Smith. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
I like
Right
it. You
on.
already had that one. You already had that one down.
I had 30 in my head.
I did my notes here. So 3 years, 30 for him. Minnesota, the Raiders, Pittsburgh, and the Giants. Again, Pittsburgh, the Giants, and the Raiders. Those 3 teams need a quarterback desperately. And those 3 teams, Pittsburgh and the Raiders, feel like if they get a quarterback, they can win relatively quickly.
Where do you think Justin Fields winds up?
Well, that's another thing. We could do. You guys want to do that next? You want to play this quarterback roulette?
Sure.
All
Why
right,
not?
let's do that because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams that need a quarterback, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quarterbacks available between free agency and the draft. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Soroki.
Oh, man, here we go. Super Bowl Sunday is getting closer and closer, and you don't want to miss out. Soroki's is a place that you need to go and get those signature wings before limited time only. Lemon pepper, I tell you, is crack. I'm not talking about that type of crack. This ain't the 80s. I'm talking about lemon pepper crack. That is Soroki's with the real fans' favorite. Crispy chicken is still on deck as always, and it still hits just like the pizza and those biscuits with the honey glaze on it. So Soroki's, pull up on it. I'm telling you, Super Bowl Sunday, it wouldn't be complete without the signature wings from Soroki's.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Tangerine Space Machine is an easy drinking IPA with the out-of-this-world flavor. Smooth and juicy with the refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with Tangerine Space Machine. Grab yourself a can of this intergalactic hazy goodness. The official beer of outer space. That's right, space beer. Brewed by New Holland Brewing Company in Holland, Michigan.
Now that you phrase it that way, space beer.
Space beer.
Sign me up for some of that intergalactic brew.
So we're talking about quarterbacks this year, and so much talk is surrounded Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers. Nobody's been talking about Matthew Stafford. Albert Breer, NFL reporter on the Dan Patrick Show just the other day, said he does not understand why no one is talking about the fact that Matthew Stafford could be available this offseason. Malik Neighbors, Giants wide receiver, stirring up rumors that Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford could be traded to the New York Giants. Kelly Stafford on her podcast today, trade them. They'll be just fine being traded. So you have a series, you have NFL reporter, an NFL player, and the family member saying, yeah, it sounds like this is absolutely something that is a strong possibility that Stafford could be traded. And let me tell you as well, we have seen Stafford already be traded and win a Super Bowl. That is the player in this quarterback market right now where there is no... I mean, if you're a fan base, okay, let's just say you're the Vikings. We'll take the Vikings. They were close to a championship. We'll take Pittsburgh, too. Take Pittsburgh, take Minnesota. You go out and sign Sam Darnold, you excited?
Yeah.
You go out and you sign Russell Wilson, you excited?
No.
Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Justin Fields?
No.
Derek Carr?
No.
Matthew Stafford?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. This could be the biggest
He's
story.
a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Matthew Stafford's availability and the fact that he potentially could be traded is the biggest story this NFL offseason, full stop.
Absolutely.
And if he goes to the Vikings, I think that is a strong possibility. Indoors, in a dome, Pittsburgh, I don't know about an outdoor stadium for Matthew Stafford. I don't know.
You don't care.
I understand that. But Pittsburgh, sure, okay, I hear you. Minnesota is the team that I would be deathly worried about Matthew Stafford.
You know where they are right now? The families of Matthew Stafford and
Cabo?
They're in Cabo.
I knew it.
Matthew Stafford and who? Cooper Kupp?
Cooper Kupps.
I knew it was Cabo.
That's where it all started.
Yeah, 100%.
Where it all started 4 years ago.
Now, is the trade that's going to happen or wherever it's going to move, is it going to be those two together? Because if it's those two together, like that.
It sure seems like they want to be together.
And
I know the wives do.
You know what it is 100%. They built a rapport, like outside the wives, because you're right, it's the wives, but it's every quarterback that goes somewhere, man. They want a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Look what Aaron Rodgers, when he went to New York, first thing he did, look, I need to get what's his name?
Javonte Davis.
Let me get Lazard. Let me bring in Randall Cobb. Let me bring in Devontae Adams. Like, that's what you see. Let me have some sense of normalcy. You're not just talking about some sense of normalcy. You're talking about somebody that knows your offense. Cooper Kupp may know offense better than Matt Stafford.
The thing is, he disappeared at the end of the year, Kupp. So there's and Stafford was his quarterback. So is it Sean McVay calling plays away from Kupp, or is it Kupp losing 2 steps and not getting open?
I think it's the rise
of Puka
Nacua and your running back.
Yep, Kyron Williams.
Kyron Williams gets a lot of passes out of the backfield, a lot of things. So I think it's the rise of that. And I think it's, look, we appreciate you. We'll use you on third down because they still go to Cooper on third down because he's not dropping anything. But you got more explosive players in Puka Nacua and Kyler Williams.
You know what I just thought of? If he goes to the Vikings, Daniel Jones goes to the Rams. He works with the Rams. He would work. He'd work with the Vikings. I'm telling you, that guy.
I don't know.
I'm going to defend him. I'm going to defend him. But I believe he's got enough talent with the right people to do well.
Could he be like a Sam Darnold type player? Is that what you're saying?
Better.
Better than Sam Darnold?
Yes. Listen, Mavs. I know you love him because he got drafted to your Giants, and he's a Giants guy. There's no way in hell Daniel Jones can do better than what Sam Darnold did. He's not that type of quarterback. The quarterbacks that work in the Rams or work for the Minnesota Vikings, they're processing quarterbacks. They're quarterbacks that, boom, 1, 2, 3, the ball's out. Like, that's how they play. That's how they have success. Because of his legs and his mobility a little bit, he's not that type of quarterback.
He's got great mobility.
Yeah, but they don't need a mobile quarterback. Like, in that system, like Sam Darnold, not mobile. Matt Stafford, not mobile.
Goff.
Not mobile. But it's a fast processing system. Daniel Jones isn't that. We know he went to Duke. But on the football field, he doesn't look like he went to Duke.
Doesn't all this highlight to you, though, all this conversation, the fact this isn't the AFC Central Division.
Right.
Not the Central, but the North. This isn't the AFC North where you're talking about the Titans and the Colts and the Jaguars.
South.
This is the best division potentially in football. Yeah. With the Vikings and the Packers and the Lions and the Bears. We're talking about potentially Matthew Stafford getting traded to the Minnesota Vikings, which even more highlights to me the need that Brad Holmes has to F them picks and go all in on Myles Garrett.
100%.
Yeah. Would there be any possibility of the Vikings trading JJ?
Yes.
No. So,
yes,
are you telling me Skydog reminded me of this? Skydog, shout out. There's no way they'd go Stafford and Kupp for freaking J.J. McCarthy. There's no way the Vikings would do that. They got a quarterback that they like, that they drafted with number 10 of the league, and he's cheap. They got to pay Stafford. How much did you say, 150?
$150 million over 3 years. That's what's expected. $50 million a year, which is a bargain.
I hear you. Hear me out on this one. Right now, the Minnesota Vikings have a team that is constructed to win a Super Bowl if they got the guy at the helm.
Facts.
To your point, J.J. McCarthy, you just drafted him number 10. This is a guy that can maybe be your franchise quarterback for 10 years or so. The Super Bowl is much more important. And as of right now, you got your coordinator. Like, how long is Brian Flores going to be there? Maybe he gets another shot at a head coaching job. You got your defensive coordinator. You got your offensive coordinator as the head coach. And you have a team in place. All you need is a guy that's been there before. Oh, wait, here's Matthew Stafford. If I'm them, I would sacrifice J.J. McCarthy in the future. And I love you, J.J. I'm sorry I'm saying this. But I would sacrifice that for a chance to – you're guaranteeing yourself a seat at the table. Like, if you get Matthew Stafford.
He's beat up, man. He's beat up.
Who?
Matthew.
It's about getting the ball out in 2.5 seconds. You got an offensive line. You got a running back and a running game that'll keep you honest. And then you got two of the best wide receivers in the league. Like, if you're gonna say you believed in Aaron Rodgers last year and the year before that and the year before that, you can believe in Matt for 2.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I just think people ask him, "Are you going to retire?" And the way he played that last playoff game, no way in hell he's retiring. He's got the goods.
They could have won that game. Two fumbles by
You're not
Kyron
kidding.
Williams
They
in the
could have
snow.
easily. They could be in the Super Bowl right now. Think about that. They had the Eagles on the ropes.
I don't like to play the if game. If it
I
does
love
not,
the if
if
game.
it does not snow that game, the Rams they win by 5.
Right.
If it does not snow that game, Rams win by 5.
Correct.
Because they threw an interception, 2 turnovers, still had a chance to win it inside 2 minutes.
Man.
In Philly,
Facts.
in the snow.
It's fun that we're still talking about
-2 degrees.
Matthew Stafford after all these years.
Well, because again, after all these years, he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I swear to God, I think
Who had a rise.
Like if you think about Matthew Stafford right now, did you ever at any point when he was a member of the Detroit Lions think of him as a top 5 quarterback in the league?
No.
Never. But again, tell me who you would take for one season more than Matthew Stafford. That list is less than one handful.
Yes.
That's because they don't teach the quarterback position in college level.
And again, I question whether or not I would take Jaden Daniels over Matthew Stafford. No, I would not for one season. Because that's really, or let's just call it 2 seasons. For the next 2 seasons, Matthew Stafford, I'm only taking Mahomes, Jackson, and Allen. And Burrow.
Stafford would throw for 5,000 yards with
That's
Minnesota.
I'm taking Jaden
5,000 yards.
Listen, I understand Jaden Daniels.
And that's fine. You can take Jaden. I
didn't even get to finish my thought.
Go ahead.
I take Jaden never at that.
Why would you take him though? Like
because I saw the poise in the team that really wasn't that good this year. Like I saw a different level of poise. Yes, C.J. Stroud had a really good year last year, and then you saw some secondary sophomore year slump, woes, injuries, whatever. But I didn't see what Jaden Daniels was. He knows when to run, when not to run. He picks his spots. No moment is too big for him. He is a player. He fits those passes into some tight windows and some tight spots. Man, he and Cliff Kingsbury have created magic. You put that Jaden Daniels on that team, talking about the Minnesota Vikings, based off what we saw this season in the playoffs.
Okay, I'll give you 5. Okay, I'll give you 5. Who are you taking after that?
That's available at the quarterback market? Yeah, probably nobody.
No, like not just any quarterback in the NFL.
Oh.
For the next 2 seasons.
In the Minnesota situation?
No, just anybody. Like I'm just saying in the NFL, like ranking quarterbacks in the NFL. Like okay,
I like what you're doing.
You know
there.
what I mean? Like I'm not taking Goff over him. I'm not taking Herbert over him. I'm not taking Tua over him. I'm not taking.
You want me to get the chat mad?
Yeah.
Over Daniels? Yeah.
You ready?
Sure.
Would the Rams and Lions pick up the phone again?
Oh, God.
Would the Rams and Lions pick up the phone again?
Oh, God.
No, because I think and I'll tell you why.
I know the Rams don't want Goff, but
Would
maybe they
take
want
Hooker?
something else.
Hooker? I mean,
I don't know. I'm just having fun.
Bridgewater.
Guys. I'm just having fun.
Oh, God.
Would you, listen.
I coach Bridge.
Do you want Goff or do you want Stafford for the next 2 years? That's all I'm saying.
That's easy. To me, that's a no-brainer.
Stafford.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's all day. And there's no disrespect to Goff. I still think you can win a Super Bowl with Goff. But if you're giving me Matthew Stafford, I mean, that's a top 5.
Can you imagine if Neil was in here right now?
Top 5, top 6 quarterback.
Can you imagine if Neil Rule was in this room right now?
Why? What would he say?
He would defend Goff to the utmost hill.
Well, anytime you pick, this is the problem with these arguments.
Yeah.
Anytime you pick somebody, it's got to be like you knock somebody down.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like that.
It's not even that. At the end of the day, like, just look at it this way. Pick a bad team right now. Who's a bad team? New Orleans? The Saints? The Giants? Okay, Giants. Like, you taking Jared Goff, just as everything is right now. This is for every fan out there. As everything is right now with the Giants, would you rather have Matt Stafford? Would you rather have Jared Goff? I don't want to hear these situations about the perfect scenario, like, give me Jared Goff in Detroit, man. We have this, that, and third. No.
Yeah.
You don't get Ben Johnson and this offensive line and Jahmyr Gibbs and this perfection. You get the New York Giants right now, Stafford or Goff. Like, that's how you ask that question the right way.
That's a mic drop.
I'm not going to bring in Lamar Jackson into the system in Detroit. So, sure, I'll take Jared over Lamar based on what the system, or Jared over Josh Allen, fine. But when you ask it that way, send him to a bad team. You taking him in New Orleans? Who you taking? You want to take Jared Goff to New Orleans, or you want Matt Stafford?
What's the worst nightmare for Lion fans?
Jared
Stafford going to the Vikings, or Myles Garrett going to the Bears or Packers?
Can you imagine both those scenarios?
Freaking imagine that.
Myles Garrett.
How small our window would have been. Our window would have been.
This is why you got to take advantage when your opportunity is
correct.
Nobody stays stagnant. Nobody stays stagnant. And if one, it's like the Yankees and the Red Sox back in the day. One makes a move, the other's going to make a move. The Lions aren't the only team that's allowed to make a move in your division.
No.
You know what I mean? That's why your window is so small, and you have to just jump in that through it when the opportunity presents it.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, the Lions, it's sexy here. It's cool. And this was the place people talked about. And we had the draft and blah, blah, blah.
And we fell on our face.
But now look at it. Like, just in that 2 years that we had momentum, or that 18 months or 12 months, look at it now. Like, if you're a player that's on the market, you're Myles Garrett, let's say you can just choose where you want to go to. Detroit, it's a different decision to make this year versus last year. So times catch up quick.
This thing popped in my head for real quick.
Yeah.
We had everything going for us this year. We had the NFL draft in Detroit. We had our greatest regular season in Lions history. And we lost in a game in a year that it should have been our year. Coming off an NFC championship loss at San Francisco. So close. I'll take you back to 2001 in the Yankees. How they had everything going for them. And the tragedy in New York City. And how that should have been theirs as well. And they lost in 7 games, bottom of the 9th inning, to Arizona. And it took them 8 more years to get back to the big dance and win it finally. And they haven't won since. How much longer is this drought going to last? This team is only going to be together for so long. These guys are only going to be at the perfect age for so long. And you're losing coaches. You're going to lose some players that are going to follow these coaches. You're going to lose some guys that you're like, oh man, I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to lose him. I didn't want to lose Barnes. I didn't want to lose this. It's going to happen. You've got to strike while the iron is hot, and it's red hot right now. And you heard him 2 years ago, a year ago. I don't know if we'll ever get back to this game again. It's tough, man. What the Chiefs are doing is a miracle.
And I think too, it's kind of like, you bring up the Chiefs. The Chiefs' magic didn't necessarily start with Mahomes. Like, Andy Reid built that. And you look at 2015, they won 11 games, they lost in the division. They won 12 games the next year, Maz. They won 12 games the next year. You know who the quarterback was? It was Alex Smith.
Yeah.
It was Alex Smith. It was a stop-back quarterback.
He was reborn.
They got their system. They got it on track. Then he leaves. They bring in Mahomes. Mahomes lost in the Western Conference. Then he lost in the Super Bowl. And then eventually he wins. But to your point, like, it takes time. It takes losing. It takes figuring things out, readjusting.
We don't have Mahomes. Only one team's got him.
They didn't have Mahomes in the beginning either. Like, the first 3 years, it was Alex Smith.
I really I shouldn't even bring up the Chiefs because they have a unicorn. All right? There's only one unicorn. We don't have a unicorn. We got an average Joe.
Guys, you got to take a break. When we come back, Stump the Maz.
Sure.
Top 10.
Sure.
What do you want to do?
What we got? How much time left in the show? 17 minutes. We could do something else.
All right. You got it. We'll do that next. But first, a message from
Merch.
Shop WoodwardSports.com. They have the latest and greatest merch from all the great Detroit sports. Lions, Tigers, whatever you need, we got it up on the website. All you have to do is go there right now. Shop WoodwardSports.com. Go now before everything sells out. I don't want you to miss out on your favorite merch, all right? Shop WoodwardSports.com. Go.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways. cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. We're going to save Stump the Maz for tomorrow. So we
Super Bowl edition.
More time, Super Bowl edition. We'll do that. Instead, we'll go around the NFL. Tom Mazaway.
Hey, sad news out of Chicago, but she had a great life. Mrs. Virginia Hallis McCaskey passed away today, 1 month after her 102nd birthday. She's been owning the sole owner of the Bears for the last 42 years. Her son, George, will take over going forward. He's in his 60s. But she is the last daughter of George Hallis. And she passes away at 102 years old. I'm sure we'll have a nice patch commemorating her as they wore George Hallis on their jerseys. I'm
George
sure
W.H.
Yep,
GWH.
GWH. So she joins her dad in heaven.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. Rest in peace. Not awesome stuff. Sorry.
Awesome stuff. You don't like old people, huh? You got some
I am looking
You have something against Centennial people.
I'm looking at my Twitter page right now, my Twitter feed, and I'm barely half listening to Maz while seeing that
Are you
there's
paying them back?
breaking news that Russell Wilson will not return to the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. The team has decided to go in another direction.
You heard Russ. He wanted to return.
Right. So you were reading about Virginia McCaskey and
passing away,
and I'm like, awesome stuff, Russell Wilson. It's just the timing was bad.
Is he done as the #1 option? Is he a backup wherever he goes?
No, he's going to Seattle. Or where's Pete Carroll? Oakland.
Raiders. Yeah, Las Vegas.
That's my quarterback.
But they don't.
tomorrow.
No. That was the first thing he asked me. He asked him about Russell, and like his answer, it lets you know that there's something there.
Yeah.
Like Russell won't be joining the Las Vegas Raiders. I promise you that.
Yeah, that's good. All right, but go ahead. Sorry, Maz.
Hey, the NFL Hall of Fame class of 25 will be announced tonight. We'll tell you who they are, but you know who's available is Eli Manning. You think Eli gets in?
First ballot.
Hell yeah, he gets in. He's on everything because of his brother and his last name. And, he beat Manning twice in the Super Bowl.
Now, 5 of those names will get in. And then there's, of course, the seniors.
I know who's
get in for the seniors. Well, who are your 5 right now? Zoom in on that.
No. I'm going to tell you who's going to get in. I'll tell you why.
Eric Allen.
Nope. Eric Allen was great.
Jared Allen.
Actually, Eric Allen, yes.
Flipper Anderson. No.
Willie Anderson. That's the left tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, it's not Flipper?
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Gates is getting in.
Sure. So only 5 guys will get in?
5 of this.
That's a terrible rule. Either you're a Hall of Famer or you're not.
Yeah.
Well, they'll bring him back the following year.
Stupid. Okay, go ahead.
How about Antonio Gates? Yes.
I want him to get in, but I don't think so. He'll get in. This is his first time being on the ballot. I don't think he gets in. I want him in as Detroit.
Mike Holmgren's going to get in with the senior award.
100%.
Torrey Holt, he's got to get in.
No.
No?
No.
Luke Kuechly.
Yep. They'll put him in.
Luke gets in. Eli gets in.
Eli.
Sterling Sharp.
Hold on, you only get 5?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me start with the guarantees. Terrell Suggs is getting in 100%. Eli Manning is getting in 100%. That's 2.
Reggie Wayne.
Fred Taylor's
No.
getting in.
Antonio Gates
4th
is
all-time
getting in.
rushing?
You know what? Let's put some good energy out there. Antonio Gates is getting in. That's 3.
Gotta be
Sterling
Fred.
Sharp.
Fred Taylor might get
Gotta
in.
be
Sterling
Fred.
Sharp's a senior. One. He'll
Fred
get in
Taylor
on the
might get in
senior.
because of the podcast. I told you, everything is political. Fred Taylor's out there because of the Pivot podcast, and he's got the numbers.
What about Adam Vinatieri?
Kickers don't get in. And he's...
Morton Anderson's in.
That's one, Maz. Name somebody else. And he played quarterback first.
Isn't Ray Guy in?
Oh, congratulations. The oldest kicker to ever play. That's 2.
Right. Dude, Darren Woodson's got to be in.
That was one of the greatest sound bites ever. The fact that you knew that is amazing.
Oh, it's Maz. Like, Maz goes to the Hall of Fame all the time. It's going to be tough.
Adam Vinatieri's going to get in. Maybe not this year, but he's going to get in because he's one of the greatest kickers of all time.
He's one
Point leader. Eli's getting in.
I just don't know
Keekly's
if
getting
Eli's
in.
11th.
Suggs is
I'm just
getting
looking.
in.
Eli's 11th all time
Darren
in passing
Woodson has
yards.
to get
Like,
in.
how did that happen?
You know what? Reggie is going to get in because they like that whole team. Edgerrin got in a couple years ago. Peyton
Steve Smith Jr.
You keep throwing names at me.
Senior.
It's only 5. Shit,
I know. I'm throwing them out there to you.
Senior.
You know what? I don't know. Outside of Sterling Sharp, because of his brother, who
Sterling
talks,
is getting in on the seniors. Don't count him. He doesn't count to the 5.
Terrell
you see the
Suggs,
star
Eli
next to him?
Manning, and whoever else.
Steve Smith, 8th all time in passing yards or in
He
receptions.
was fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Wow.
If they don't like you, they don't like you.
So tomorrow we will
Who's
announce
Reggie
the class.
Wayne?
We will
Take
have
that.
it for you. Super Bowl week as always. The time
Terrell
for the
Suggs,
NFL.
Antonio Gates, Eli Manning.
Wow, Reggie Wayne is 10.
Reggie Wayne.
Steve Smith is 8th. Reggie Wayne is
Hey.
10.
But you can't put 3 receivers in 1 year.
That's
Good
that's
point.
dumb. I think that's dumb.
Yeah, it's
I'm operating how they
I
operate.
know,
Yeah.
which is dumb.
Can you like campaign? Do they like campaign or something if you don't make it 1
No,
year?
at the end of the day, you just need to do it over a 2-day period, okay?
We'll ask Keenest about that tomorrow.
WWE showed us a lot during COVID. They start doing 2-day events. Do Hall of Fame 2 days. You have 1 day where this is 10 folks get in or 8 folks, however it is. And then the next day, here's another 7. You can knock out 14 in 1 year. You do 7 Saturday, 7 Sunday. Does that sound good, man?
I like that.
As opposed to, oh, we can only do 5 because it's on Sunday and we only have
Don't
a certain
forget, the
amount
Pro
of time.
Football Hall of Fame is not as big as Cooperstown. It's a small.
But that's why I said split it in half. You do one because think about different fan bases. If you got 7 and 7, you're gonna get the fan bases for those guys, so you can fill the seats on both days.
If Eli gets in, I've got to hit Cooperstown in August. Not Cooperstown. Canton on my way to Jersey.
Eli?
If Eli gets in, I'm
He's
going.
getting in.
I'm going.
He's getting in.
I owe him. I mean, he got 2 Super Bowls for the Giants. They beat the Patriots twice.
Boy.
They beat an undefeated
Patriots.
twice. 2 free catches, one by
that
Mario
the David
Manningham,
Tyree?
the other by David Tyree.
Yeah.
Plaxico Burress closes it out.
Everybody
Those are 2 huge upsets. Huge upsets.
Everybody gives Eli Manning all this credit. I give him credit for the one pass, and that was a pass to Mario Manningham. That was one of the best passes I've ever seen in my life.
David Tyree in the middle of
David
3
Tyree
players?
was a sack.
No,
like
he got out of it.
That is.
But that's a hold up. Like the way they play that, they play it as a sack the whole year. But in the Super Bowl, they let Eli, we'll let it go a little longer and let him get out of it. Like, you know what it is. That's just, I don't have any reason to hate on Eli.
I don't think it was a sack.
I don't know.
What else did he do then? Like, David Tyree called a freakish catch. If you want to count that play, Eli threw up some prayer and David Tyree made a ridiculous catch.
With Rodney Harrison on his shoulders.
But David Tyree made that catch, not Eli Manning.
He put it there.
Tom Brady.
He threw the ball in the sky and he got lucky.
Tom Brady says that's the one play in his entire career he wished he could have back.
Well,
It's
he
that
said
play.
he
He wasn't even on the field.
He said he'll give 2 Super Bowls for that ring back.
Speaking of, that was the 19-0 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tom Brady, I saw the second time the Giants with a Manningham catch today. They were replaying the highlights of that.
Amazing.
There was a Hail Mary at the end of the game. Tom Brady threw
Just
into the end
missed it.
zone.
Randy
Gronk
Moss
was right there on the tip. That would have been the greatest Super Bowl ending of all time. I mean, Gronk was right there on the tip.
Yep. I know.
I
was
can't
sick to
believe it.
I was holding my breath.
I couldn't believe it. Wow. That was incredible.
Too
What
bad,
else you got
though.
for us, man?
Too bad, though.
Yeah, too bad.
NFL going to play in Australia. Yeah, let's
I'm
make
sorry.
it even worse on the players. Let's let them. How long is the flight? 24 hours?
Yeah, at least.
We're going down
you know,
under.
a good friend of mine is from Oz. And he just went this summer. He said it took him a month to get
Put
like
some shrimp on the
back.
bobby.
Yeah.
The Rams are the one team that
on the bobby.
What time is the game going to be on?
They say
here?
the Rams are going to be playing in that game. So
That's a good question.
That's why Stafford wants to get traded. He don't want to go to Oz and play.
Tommy, wasn't the original report? I'm just saying, wasn't the original report the Eagles were supposed to face the Rams?
I have no idea.
I think that was the original report.
Is the game going to be at like 3 o'clock in the morning? Because that's the worst thing
Right.
about those British games. They're always at a random time.
Right. Because they're on the other side of the date line.
Yeah, right.
They're on the other side of the date line. So game Sunday for us is actually Monday for them.
Yep, it'll be
You just
Monday
can't
football.
be for the players' safety and send these.
They're really
guys
pushing
to-
it, man.
You know, it's so silly.
They're really pushing it.
So
Like
silly.
Australia, just get a team.
It's also so far ahead you can't watch it live. Like, you can't have a Super Bowl at 3 a.m. I don't care.
I agree.
I got a couple other good ones for you. Raiders signed Chip Kelly officially. We all know that. He's going to be their OC. That's the oldest coaching combo in the league, by the way. Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly, of course, brought in helped Ohio State win that national
Excuse me
championship.
for a minute. I know he's getting paid a lot of money for the Raiders. I think he's the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL now. I know that. But just yet another example of a guy that wants nothing to do with college football if you have an opportunity to go to the NFL.
Yep.
I mean, it's just going down a terrible road. I mean, you're coming off a national championship. You're the highest paid coordinator in college football, and I know money aside, but it's further proof. If you have an opportunity to jump to the NFL, you're going to do it in today's day and age.
Yeah, it just seems like I think the personalities and how kids are getting paid and how they act, you know what I'm saying, on campus or act in practice or act to these coaches. I think you're looking at coaches that are tired of it. You know, you go to the NFL, it's different. I know these players are going to listen to me. This is what I'm tuning up, and we're lock, step, and key. They're paid professionals. In college, guys are getting paid. But you got a lot of prima donnas and older coaches. They don't want to deal with that.
Here's a guy that's doing the opposite of what you think. Ron Rivera is going to be the general manager of Cal Berkeley.
See, I disagree with that because he's not going to be the head coach. He's going to be a general manager. I think that is a new position that is being created at universities, and that's an administrative position.
Right.
That is a much different thing than in and out of, coaching duties and going into houses and recruiting and doing all that stuff. You're the GM.
You think he probably still play a role in recruiting, like going to houses and all that stuff? Because I think that would be a selling point with him showing up.
Maybe. I don't even know. Do you need to go to houses anymore? You just show up with a bag and say, this is what we can give you.
Just cash apple.
You know
just
what I mean?
cash
That's
apple.
really what it is. This is what we can give you. This is our. You think you can go to the NFL? Here's the bag. This is our
Speaking
price.
of a bag,
Athletes
Ryan Day
getting
got
paid
one.
now.
Ryan Day got a bag.
Yeah, he deserves it.
7-year deal.
Glad.
7-year deal.
7
He's
more
gonna
years
get
of
$12.5 million per year. So he survived Michigan, didn't he? Thanks to the new playoff. He could thank the lucky stars that the playoff was there.
God.
Because his season didn't end when they lost to the Michigan Wolverines. Isn't that something?
Good for Ryan Day. You know, I mean, they won it, and yeah. I mean, I got no problem with it. Just means we're gonna win another 7 years in a row.
That's what I said to Mass. I'm like, yeah, great.
Congratulations. Bitches get paid, too. You still got to see me in Ann Arbor, though. Pull up. We'll be waiting. We'll be waiting.
So good.
And the Michigan Wolverines won a basketball game last night. They beat Oregon by 4.
Did you see the step back?
The step back
step back
three
was
from
sweet.
the 7-footer.
That was a sweet step back.
Nasty work. And usually they've had a couple of these leads this year that they've blown. They were able to hold on to this. I can't wait for February 21st. Michigan and Michigan State, second place in the Big Ten standings.
They're unbeaten at home, and they're 9-2 in the Big Ten.
Half a game back of Purdue for the top spot in the Big Ten Conference. It just goes. Look, it's great when your team sucks.
Right.
NIL is great because you can get good quickly. Right. Michigan was terrible last year. Sucked. One of the worst programs in all of college basketball. And one season later, you got a bunch of guys on your team, you never heard of them. You truly are rooting for the name on the front of the jersey just because, these guys will come out And I hope they win the championship this year. I'll be all in during March Madness. But then you're going to have a whole new crop next year, and then a whole new crop after that. There's no story anymore. I keep telling you guys about the story and what makes sports great. It's the story. The kid who was the highly rated recruit that comes on, doesn't play right away, but he's worked his tail off, and now finally his junior and senior year he's producing, and he's making something, and then he turns into a first-round NFL draft pick, number 3 by the Cleveland. Oh, that's you. You know what I mean? Could you imagine?
Yeah.
If you bounce around 3 or 4 times, you wouldn't think about this. Your story, your Michigan story, and how beloved you are at Michigan because of your story. These guys, they miss out on all this stuff. It's and that's why college sports to me is just so lessened.
Yeah, I like what Michigan did with Dusty May. It seems like some sports are getting back to a sense you got to have a guy that knows what he's doing. You can no longer hire these, I don't want to call them influencer roles, but you can't hire these coaches out of personalities and hope that you hire coaches underneath. Coaches got to know. Dusty May was at Michigan before. He's dialed in. He was in there with Beeline. Like, he knows how to coach. He knows how, and this is no shade to the coach before, who I know very well, but you need 100%. He knows what he's doing. He's running the program the right way. He's gotten people to buy in. And oh, by the way, Michigan now wants to open up that pocketbook. Makes it a lot easier to play in the Big Ten.
Get us out of here, buddy.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Ricky, hell of a job out of you. I like the Lions drip that you're rocking over there.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I see you, my guy,
I got
man.
you, buddy.
Time as well. I like the Grand Valley.
Thank you,
I
sir.
didn't say anything earlier, man.
Anchor up.
Ryan Ermanni wearing the classic North Face vest.
You know it.
Still goes hard, if you will.
Hey, can we congrat Robbie Ermanni?
There it
Sure.
is.
Hope College, baby.
You
Hope
set it up.
College.
Hope College,
Let's
baby.
go.
Oh, Robbie.
I was
Good
going
hope.
to text you this morning at 4:30, but I didn't want to
Sal.
wake you up.
You
I
won't
woke
wake me. Always text me. My wife was getting the call anyway that she got to stay home from school.
Oh, good.
Ice storm.
Yeah.
Everybody, speaking of that, be safe. Ice doesn't seem
Yeah,
to
it's
be too
icy
bad
still.
out
It's
there,
looking
but
better.
still be safe. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow. Wrap up the week's Friday already.
Tomorrow's Friday. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you guys mañana.
See you guys.